And welcome back, guys, to Dos Leches podcast. I'm your host, Fatty Patty, here with my other host, Slim Jim. And I thought I could keep a straight face.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You got pretty far. I would have kept that.
High five. Woo! Unpracticed. Anyways, intro aside. So today's episode, we're going to be diving into the history of Nike, just as a company. Lennon's not familiar with it. I'm kind of familiar with it. But the reason I wanted to do this is because I've heard that Nike has, in the past, they used to take some silhouettes from here, from there. Maybe change some designs. But for those of you that don't know, last year Nike sued the company Warren Lotus for trademark infringement and trademark basically trademark confusion, right? If you saw the shoe, you didn't know it wasn't a Nike product. In fact, some people would buy it and think it's a Nike product. They didn't want that. Same goes with maybe now a month, not even a full month, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, Lil Nas X and Mischief collaborated on a shoe called the Satan shoe. I was waiting for you to.
Oh, that's a great name. I want the Satan shoe.
Anyway, so yeah, the Nike history, because of these last two lawsuits, both which Nike has. Well, the Warren Lotus one, they won the settlement. For the second one, they just basically handled it out. Mischief settled, and I believe all the pairs are getting recalled. Simple.
Wait, what? I don't personally know what the Satan shoe looks like.
Okay, so
how would they do copyright infringement?
So the way it works is sorry, keep asking questions.
Well, yeah, because I personally, especially the Satan shoe, unless it's like a Nike symbol, I don't know how you would.
Well, so for those of you that okay. So this, we'll just jump right into this, right?
Okay.
So the way the shoe market works is there's retail, and then there's customs, and then there's counterfeit.
Yeah.
So this is the Lil Nas X Satan shoe,
and they're customs.
That is what the argument was. Yes, they are customs. They say Luke 10:18. There were 666 pairs. The retail price was $1,018 flat. Again, a reference to Luke 10:18. I had a pendulum. I'll post a picture up right now for you guys. But in reality, this shoe, to let's say an everyday consumer like Lennon, or even you guys, you see that Nike swoosh right there in the middle, or even on the tongue.
Yeah, I see it's on the tongue.
It looks like to you, or even to me, it looks like a Nike shoe. There's no
I would think it's
differentiating. Yeah, that it's a custom. Because in reality, what they did was they bought 666 black Air Max 97 models, and then they put 60 cc's of red liquid into the sole. That's why it looks red. And then 1 drop of human blood, and then they etched on they embroidered Luke, the number, they put the pendulum tag. They did all that.
Like, to be honest, I would think this is like a Halloween Nike shoe.
Yeah, right. Okay. So for a lot of people, for some people, the issue is like, Satan, right? Why are we doing that? But for those who aren't necessarily religious, the other argument was, okay, is it a little too far with the human blood? There's a drop of human blood in the
every
liquid.
shoe?
In the liquid, yes, in every shoe.
That's pretty cool.
That, I don't know, that's too much for me. That's like,
too much, but that's pretty metal.
It is pretty metal.
I want to be like, I have a shoe that has a drop of human blood in it.
Yeah.
And I could flex that.
It was actually funny too, because the company did say, well, you guys didn't sue us when you made the Jesus shoe. It was a shoe that had holy water, and the company made the argument that this is a freedom of speech thing because nobody else got mad when the Jesus shoe came out. And
the Satan bad.
And actually, one of the arguments that someone made is that nobody cared.
That's true.
Nobody cared because one, the people that thought that it was like, okay, this is kind of like, it's kind of like disrespectful. Like if you're religious, you're like, okay, that's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. You didn't buy it, but it wasn't. It was more in the sense of like it just because it had the holy water in the sole. Yeah. It kind of was like cool for like a few months, but then that was it. Mm-hmm. But this one again, they put it in like this black box that looked like a nuclear container. They put like all these like pictures and drawings on the box and
I think that's the box right there next to the shoe. Scroll
yeah, here you go. It's this orange box.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And
pretty sick.
And of course, like it can't. I think this coming out with Lil Nas's video, Montero, or whatever, the one where he's dancing on Satan.
Yeah.
All of that accumulated to boost this shoe into
oblivion.
Yeah, to new heights.
Yeah.
So the reason we're talking about Nike today is because those two mixed with a new lawsuit of Nike, is Nike's now getting sued by USPS.
Before we go into the USPS topic, I want to say, how do you get blood that's like
human blood?
Yeah.
The workers that were doing it like donated it.
Oh, okay. So I was be like, how the fuck did you get blood from this? Like, hey, any blood? Oh, are you a hospital? No. No, we're gonna put in some shoes and we're gonna sell 666 of them.
I'd like to buy a pint, please.
Yeah, we don't need much. Just want to like.
We just want it all.
For every shoe, they just had an employee like plugged in and they go boop.
I just like to imagine the employee there on the computer.
Are you guys done?
And like a doctor that comes in like
200 more.
What would you do if like a doctor came by and like grabbed their arm and he was like, there you go. It's still pumping out a little clot real quick.
Yeah, okay. It's like, here's some apple juice, and this guy has like apple juice.
You know how they tell you like, oh, here's the cookie.
Yeah, here's the cookie.
You have somebody like walk around like, do you want a cookie?
Yeah.
Do you want an apple slice? There's always that one dude or person in the back who's like, is it gluten free?
Then they shoot them and they use the blood.
They're like, you're losing blood. You want gluten free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm white.
I'd be like, you deserve to pass out.
All right, don't feed him.
Don't feed him. But anyways, this is the USPS shoe.
Hey.
USPS is has some criticism for Nike because they feel like that Nike is using an unauthorized symbol of UPS or some kind of trademark.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're kind of here today, because Nike's gone from 2 lawsuits defending Nike, right? They were suing someone else to now being summoned and being sued. Yeah. So we wanted to look back on the history of Nike because supposedly Nike had a history of borrowing silhouettes. So as a backstory, prior to Nike and prior to Jordan brand, for those of you who are maybe fans of Air Jordan, as we jump in, this to set the scene, Adidas and Converse in the 70s are the shoes. If you're a b-boy, if you're a DJ, if you're the dude on the street, the fire guy, the dude that would walk past and get and would get all the stares, was rocking Puma Clydes, Adidas Stan Smith, Shell Toes, because Run DMC back then was really running the game, and Nike was not Nike. They were actually pretty much kind of an unknown company. They were the baby on the market.
Okay.
And Adidas was winning back then because they had the track suits and kids loved the bright colors. And Nike was literally just a running shoe. That was it. So that's why we start here, where Nike was called Blue Ribbon Sports. They were the brainchild of Bill Bowerman and his former student Phil Knight. So both of these guys were so Bowerman was a track coach for University of Oregon, which kind of ties into why the Oregon gets the craziest Nike stuff. But we're getting our info, by the way, from this company called Investigative Engineering. But they state here that the company...
Interesting Engineering?
Oh, interesting. What did I say? Investigative?
Investigating...
Oh, that's a better name for a website. Sorry. Anyways.
We just rebranded your website.
Boom. Hit us up. Pay me.
Pay us. We're not giving that up. We already trademarked it.
Oh, what's the intro for ID? Investigative Discovery.
Investigative.
Let's just change that and put bing, Investigative Engineering, and then just.
We're just so much.
That's
we're
it,
so good.
bro.
We're so good at our job.
Dude, that's it. I'm quitting my day job. Peace out. Anyways,
I'm rebranding people.
So anyways, the company that would become Nike was created in 1964, and they first opened their retail outlet in 1966. It states that the company initially served as the U.S. distributor for a running shoe made by the Japanese company Onitsuka Tiger, or ASICS, as what they're known as now. But do you have, this is my first question for you, do you have any knowledge of ASICS? Have you heard of Onitsuka Tiger?
I've heard of ASICS. I don't know Onitsuka Tiger.
It sounds so cool when you say it. What? I just want, like, when it rolls, it's just
Onitsuka Tiger.
You almost try to say that in a certain way. I heard you.
I couldn't do it.
He tried to get away with it. But basically, that company is kind of where we see Nike getting their first start, because at that time, Nike being the distributor, they got Phil Knight got first-hand look on the product. He was looking at, okay, this is how the shoe is, this is what it's made of, and he's not building it, but he's selling it. And so that's where the article then goes to say that Nike
looks like an ASIC if you took off the Nike symbol.
Right. Okay. So it says Nike, more specifically Blue Ribbon Sport, at that time, was founded and operated in Eugene, Oregon. It was originally set up to be the official U.S. distributor for this Japanese running shoe. They would sell about 1,300 pairs of that shoe in the first year. And when we look back on that, 1,300 pairs is not a lot of shoes.
No.
It really, really isn't. Especially when you're thinking about what the numbers that Nike does now. Like, that's
because they're Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Pitbull. I love that guy. So it says after that in the late 1960s, sales had continued to grow, and they further expanded towards the East Coast in Massachusetts. But most importantly, that's when the start of Nike becomes Nike. So, like, where the brand is now changing, it's now adapting the swoosh and leaving Onitsuka Tiger, they're leaving ASICS. So, for those of you that don't know, Nike is the Greek goddess of victory. Actually, okay, this is a side note. I've heard someone say, you know how Europeans say Nike?
Okay.
Which one do you think is, like, closer? Ours
Nike or Nike?
Yeah.
Probably Nike, I'm not gonna lie. To the actual name of the
Which one
goddess?
sounds cooler?
Nike. No. Nike or Nike?
Really?
I bet they both pronounce it really fucking wrong.
Darn it! And we made it like 5 seconds.
We made it like, we'll give us like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that's the story of the name. Again, they were track coach. Bowerman was a track coach. Phil Knight was a track and field runner. They the victory thing is kind of the just, great marketing on their point. It really is just that.
It's just that simple.
It's like, as an athlete, they knew how to tap into your head of just what is an athlete's primal instinct.
To win.
Anyways, let's now up next is the Nike logo. I actually never realized where the Nike logo came from. Like that, the check mark.
Is there something from? Because
I've always wondered. I've never really thought about
looking into stuff like that.
But it says the now world famous Nike logo was designed by Portland State University graphic design student Carolyn Davidson. So Carolyn Davidson,
congratulations.
Congratulations. You've made probably the most recognizable symbol on the planet. Behind, not even behind anything. What is more behind the cross? That's it. No, seriously, I think that's really it. The only thing that would beat it is a cross.
The pentagram.
Oh, maybe the pentagram. Okay, maybe behind the cross. Maybe the cross.
Maybe behind Maybe behind some religious symbols. That's it.
No, because even then, the cross, you don't even have to be religious, and a lot of people know what it is. They don't they might not be like, oh, that's Jesus crucifixion cross, but they'll be like, oh, that's a cross. Do you get what I mean? Anyway, so Davidson, she sketched out a few ideas, but the one she decided to show Nike founders is the iconic swoosh. She said, well, I don't love it, but maybe it will grow on me. That's what Phil Knight said, and he paid her $35 and then just left it at that. $35.
I would have been like, give me 1% of whatever this company makes.
It's actually, well, here's the next part. It says 12 years later in 1983, Miss David received a gold swoosh ring with an embedded diamond at luncheon honoring her, along with a certificate and undisclosed amount of Nike stock, in recognition of the Nike swoosh.
Okay, good. I would have been pissed.
Golf clap. Good job, Nike. Good job. I see you guys fixing. They were covering up the tracks before cancel culture.
Nike had it in cancel culture before it ever became popular.
Nike probably started cancel culture. So now we're gonna go into Nike's first shoe. So according to Soles by one of the first, if not the actual first, Nike shoe is the so-called Moon shoe, produced in 1972.
I had Moon shoes, not those, but Moon shoes.
Oh, is that the one that light up?
No, they had it's like a trampoline on the bottom of your on the shoe. That you
I remember those.
You're strapped onto your shoes.
Those things are dangerous. No,
we still have it somewhere. I guarantee you.
I want to write that. I want to get on that.
The Moon shoes.
Is it a ride? Is it a walk? I don't even. What do you call that?
Well, Moon. It's just like a. You have a piece on the bottom, and then you have springs in between, and then you have another piece where you put your shoe and you strap on your shoe.
That's crazy. So it says here by SoulBuy on Twitter that 1972 Nike Waffle Racing Flat. So it's actually, my bad. So the first actual shoe is called the Nike Waffle Racer. We actually still have that shoe to this day. You guys can go to your local Shoe Palace, Finish Line, JD Sport, and it's there. And the fun fact about the waffle maker that isn't on here is they call it a waffle maker because the plastic, they actually used to use a waffle press to make the outsole, because as it goes, Phil Knight was eating breakfast. I believe maybe his wife or someone was making waffles.
Okay.
And he looked at the waffle thing and looked at the presses on the inside and went, that would be really good for track and field. And then went out and bought like 6 waffle makers and put rubber and just went, oh,
look at the word. Get word.
Guys, look, I made a sole. Like, I don't care. Again, psychopaths, but there you go.
Psychopaths.
So it says this is the last remaining pair from 1972. It is being auctioned, or was maybe purchased. No, it's an auction for $437,500.
You gotta add the 500 there, dude.
That is almost $438,000. You gotta include tax. What is tax?
Commission.
What is tax on that?
There's no tax when it comes from an auction, is there?
Is it? I don't know.
think so.
I've never bought an auction, and that was bought on July 23rd, 2019. So,
not enough money.
that is an insane.
I wonder if you were to put it up to auction now, I wonder how much more money you would sell.
What do you mean? Oh,
For inflation and the fact that Nike's been growing as a company since 2013.
maybe.
I fuck with that shoe.
Okay, so I pulled up another page because I wanted to get more into the sneaker aspect.
Asics don't look like that anymore. That's what makes me sad.
So this is a blue ribbon Onitsuka Tiger. Asics actually do. That's the Asics logo.
No, yeah.
I've
I've had Asics before.
It's the running shoe. So it's
No,
that was actually. So are you familiar with the Cortez model?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Isn't that the Cortez model, kind of?
there you go.
Oh,
Now we're building bridges, guys. Conspiracy theories.
the Cortez model away from Asics.
So, well, sort of, because here you go. We start right here.
There's the Cortez model.
So
I know.
we have the Nike Waffle being kind of constructed and started during the 1970s. 71 again, Nike changes their name. They pay Carolyn Davidson $35. What a pimp. 1972, the Waffle Racer comes out, but then next year, 1970, or not actually the next year, but the following that shoe in the same year, the Nike Cortez is now released. It's at the Mexico Olympics. So it says here that this is by fatbuddhastore.com. I like the Fat Buddha store. I actually like that name. It says here that the Nike Cortez was released, and it was a culmination of Nike's track development up to the time, and the first to feature foam for cushioning. So now, when it comes to foam in shoes, it's kind of insane to think that that literally was invented. My dad was born in '69, 3 years old when foam was invented for shoes.
Your dad's old.
That's the cheapest cushioning you can get in like Vans, and it's only what 30 years. It's like 40 years old.
Yeah. I was like,
But for those of you who don't know, the Cortez, it was made popular by Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump. The shoe that he wears is the
White
Nike
Cortezes.
Cortez, red, white, and blue. In fact, they retroed the Forrest Gump Cortezes 2-3 years ago, I believe. And so after that, we go into 1973, where Nike launches their first basketball shoe, the Nike Blazers. It says this shoe was worn by NBA players such as George Gervin, also known as the Iceman, and this was the shoe that put Nike branding into kind of the first basketball atmosphere.
What a great player to have sponsoring your shoes. George Gervin is a legend.
Wasn't he the bad boy of his? Like, wasn't he a very physical dude?
He was physical.
Like,
He was very skinny.
no, but I know, wasn't he? But like, he was like a rough guy.
He was very long, so he would like push in and just shoulder people in, and he could reach pretty much anywhere.
Like, I
if he
remember
got inside the
highlights
paint,
of him
that's it.
being like, kind of like he had like the shoulder thing of Shaq, where he would like elbow people.
If he had
and
the
he would-
body shape
he'd
of Shaq.
push up. No, I know, but like I'm saying, like his aggressiveness, like he was like
No, yeah, he was
he'd probably stab you in the court for like
he
a
would
rebound.
pull out a shank out of his back pocket.
As you come down, he'd pull it out. He'd be like, stab, stab.
Yeah.
Stab, stab. 1974, the Nike Waffle Racer is re-release, and it comes. Oh well, no, it says it's released now, and it has again that first rubber sole with those waffle bumps, which is kind of. I mean, that is just crazy. It says that it became incredibly popular and becomes a best-selling sneaker on the market for 74. In 78, Nike releases the Tailwind, which is the first running shoe to include air pockets in the outsole, which is going to change sports shoes and the history of sports shoes forever. So, now in 78, this is the start of Air. We've all seen the Nike commercials, right? You see the Nike Air on your shirt, the shorts, tattoos if you're cool enough to do that. But
no, if you're crazy enough to do it.
I'm not saying nothing. If you have a Nike Air tattoo, you could probably beat me up. That's probably why you got it. Cause no one's gonna
back it up.
You could probably back up the pain and be like, "Come on, 2 jab, boy."
If I wasn't so limited in my arm movement, I'd probably kick your ass.
If I wasn't so swole,
Yeah, if I was so swole.
I would turn my body a little bit more and get more torque in my punches.
Sucks that they're not gonna reach you because I can't move my arm.
I feel like buff dudes really limit themselves because they're so big, and it's like what do you do when like when you're like this all day?
Yeah.
Like if someone comes up to to fight you, like let's say they're dipping and diving, they're like diving, they're like, oh snap, and you're just like, It's all in the wrist for them. They're like this.
Like T-Rexes.
They better be really good at physics and use all momentum from that waist and abs they've been training for 16 years. But anyways, 1982, the Air Force One comes out. Personally, for me, the Air Force One low. I don't mess with the mids, and I don't wear highs. It's probably one of my favorite Nike silhouettes. It's chunky, but it's like
good chunky.
It's like a nice chunky. It's like me, fatty patty boys. But it says here the Air Force One is released. It becomes the first basketball shoe to use air in the sole, which again, the technology that Nike was doing from 74 with a waffle racer, sorry,
the razor,
Occam's
razor,
to now putting air in the midsole, allowing for for better knee support when coming down, and for more explosion going up. Nike is kind of starting to show their true colors of we're gonna be at the forefront of sports.
All right, I have a question.
What is the question?
How does the air thing work?
So, I don't want to ruin this because I feel like his name is Peter Moore. Guy's a genius. So, basically what they do is they put like an air unit, like kind of like
they put something
like a Tide Pod.
Okay.
Think of like a Tide Pod, and they fill it with air. So like, and then so the midsole, let's say, is this thick. Let's say that they have a divot about that wide, right? Okay. I'm showing the camera, and they just kind of set it in, lay it flat. Then they put then they cover it with whatever cloth or whatever, like the just to cover it. Then they put your insole. Insole is different than the midsole because this rubber part is a midsole, and basically that's kind of the start.
And the insole lays on top of the midsole.
That's the thing that you could take out. Yeah. So they basically kind of, it's because this is rubber. They kind of put it in there, and it looks like a bag. The best way you'll see it, I'll show you, is the Air Max 1. Don't want to get ahead, but it's coming up. So in 1982, Nike releases the Internationalist. It's a shoe designed for long distance runners. And for this one, it was used at the New York Marathon. And this is, again, where Nike is, they're developing that, hey, we're not just basketball. We're not just track and field. We're long distance now. They're kind of showing people, look, we're about sports. We're the house of sports. What's the time?
20.
And then 1983, Air Pegasus comes out, a similar running shoe. In 1984, probably one of the most important years for sneaker history and for sneakers in general, the Air Jordan 1 is produced exclusively for Michael Jordan. This is where the Jumpman becomes Jumpman. That's the Air Jordan is now given to Michael Jordan, and he becomes not only the first NBA rookie, not even rookie, rookie, but to get a $250,000 contract, but he gets that and a shoe and all these endorsements and all these things before ever playing one game in the NBA.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Michael Jordan has not set foot on the NBA court. He comes in with his own shoe. He comes in with a sneaker contract. He comes in with a Nike contract.
What's up, little boys?
And he's coming in again into a man's world, and they're looking at him like, who the hell do you think you are, buddy? Who do you think you are, coming in as a rookie and not putting any time in and getting more money than Larry Bird?
I'm Michael Jordan.
Getting more money than Magic Johnson at the time. But the reason that this shoe is so important is because of the band story, which is probably a story we can do another time about Air Jordan. But basically, the colorway of the shoe didn't match the team uniform, so they banned it, right? But again, this was another basketball shoe that had Air technology in it, but the midsole wasn't so high like the Air Force. It was slimmed down for Michael Jordan, which was because he felt like he didn't want to get too high. He didn't want it to be too tall, so that when he landed, he might like break an ankle or something. And then for those of you who are into Dunks basketball shoes,
I'm not gonna lie, that looks like an infant shoe. You know how infant shoes look like super fat compared to every other shoe?
They have a fat heel. That's why. In 85, the Nike Dunk is released. This model basically came in every color. It actually becomes a very popular model for schools, which is where we get the Michigan colorway, the Notre Dame colorways, the Kentucky, the what else? UNC. I mean, that shoe becomes the college basketball shoe at some point. But here we start to get into probably one of the most important shoes for Air technology. I'm going to skip over the 1986 Air Trainer 1 because
I don't know what that shoe is.
It's kind of just
actually,
it's a tennis shoe. That's what it was geared towards.
Okay.
And really it was popular, but it became more popular actually around the 90s, oddly enough. Like, it gained some popularity. Yeah, it gained some traction for a few years. But here is where we're hitting the big boy of technology at the moment. 1987, the first Nike Air Max 1 to release with a visible air pocket. So if you can see there, that air pocket, you see how you see like the little blue pegs, like you see how like the rubber's touching like this. That's kind of how they make the air unit. It's like a tubing or something that's put in, and they just kind of it's molded over time. They eventually learn to mold it into the midsole. Okay. Right? And again, this is the they literally called it they used the Beetle track Revolution because of this, because for those of you, I'll put the picture up. It was the first picture where they took a picture of the shoe with a light flashing through right behind the picture, but what can you see the light through as well? The air unit. And that was the point.
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. Hey, just do it.
In 1988, we get the Just Do It slogan by Nike. It was the very first campaign featuring the now iconic slogan, which was actually inspired by the serial killer Gary Gilmore's last words, "Let's do it," before he was executed by firing squad in 1977.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, dude.
Okay,
that's metal.
We're learning some stuff. Yeah. Anyways, 1990, Nike opens up its first retail in downtown Portland, Oregon.
I've seen it. It's pretty nice.
In 1990, Nike releases the Air Max 90, which is another iconic Air Max model. This is kind of where we also get one of the first looks of Tinker Hatfield, who is almost undisputably one of the greatest sneaker designers of all time.
I believe it.
Especially because the guy works on... He literally is one of the main reason why Michael Jordan didn't leave Nike. He brought him a shoe in a parking lot. Michael Jordan looks at it and goes,
yes.
What's this? He goes, that's your third model. So the Air Jordan 3 is actually, for those of you who don't know, when you get a collaboration, you have to go through Michael Jordan. You have to go to Michael Jordan in his house and say, hey, I want to do this to your shoe. And he'll be honest. He'll go, nope, you're not touching that shoe. And his son, Marcus Jordan, on a podcast one time said his dad refuses to let anyone touch the Air Jordan 3. He'll let them, but it better be, you're a special person if you can do the Air Jordan 3. Because he hasn't even let his own son touch the Air Jordan 3. Because again, it's that special. It's the shoe that for him is like, you know what? I almost left Nike. It drew me back in. Which is pretty crazy. 91, we get some more running shoes. As well as another, this one is more important for like sneaker heads. Not it's the Nike Air Huarache. And it's actually one of the most comfortable sneakers you'll ever wear in your life.
Steven, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that said hurricane.
Nike Air Hurricane. That's metal.
That's
metal.
Nike, sign us, please. We TM'd it already. You can't take it from us.
Nike, don't touch Air Hurricane.
We're gonna make a hurricane.
1995, the Air Max 95. By the way, I hope you guys are getting the theme of Nike with Air Max. They're like, what year is it? 96. Air Max 96. Whoop whoop. Like that's. Anyway, this one is designed. This one's a beautiful shoe. I'm putting pictures up. The story goes that the original colorway and the original physical design is actually supposed to resemble the human body, the layers of our muscles, our bones, and stuff like that. Okay. So this is
you lost me for a second, then you started explaining. I was like, okay.
No, yeah, I know. Sometimes the designs are a little bit of a Hail Mary, like Aaron Rodgers. Just kind of let's just hope it's somebody.
It's like the human body. Explain.
Yeah. 96, the U.S. golfer Tiger Woods signs a sponsorship deal with Nike, turning on to the pro that we will see promoting Nike equipment, a pair releasing a signature golf shoe in 96 and a footwear line. So this is the Nike Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods.
I wish it was more red.
Yeah. And I don't know. You wear a lot of red and black. I was kind of hoping I'd see that here.
There's red and there is black.
But it's a white shoe. But then again, he does wear his white cap. So, okay, Tiger, you win on that one.
I would like the base to be red.
Oh, that would be cool. In 1997, again,
the Air Max 97?
Air Max 97
Let's go!
Is released. This one is called Silver Bullet. And it is now the full-length Air sole. So, from all the way around, you can see the Air unit, which this shoe is actually very popular in Italy. There's this one, the Silver Bullet, and there's one where it's all gold. Just the Italians and those two shoes are like, whew. It's like me and McDonald's.
Oh, my goodness.
In 99, Nike opens up in London, Oxford Street, and in 1999 as well, Nike ID launches. So this is the first time where customers can now buy Nike shoes and customize them, which
I screw with those shoes.
Which is crazy.
I'm trying not to say the F word, but I screw with those shoes.
We're gonna go down in 2002. Actually, what was the shoe made when I was born? In 2000, the Nike woven. Gosh darn it, we get the dumbest shoe.
What the hell is this?
The Nike woven, launches initially in Japan and sells out immediately, featuring a hand woven upper and Zoom Air unit. The woven style has been used on a variety of special editions of other Nike models. For those of you who are kind of familiar with Nike, with Ultra Boost, Adidas Ultra Boost, Yeezys or even Nike Flyknit, that woven material, that sock-like material, it's basically the or originator of that. Kind of crazy. 2000.
That's a Vans.
No, that's not a Vans. 2002. What Lennon is pointing at is the Nike SB Dunk Lumberjack. I don't even have to read it. I know it just by the colorway. That's how bad this is. Nike found.
That's how bad your addiction is, or that's how bad the shoe is?
No, that's how bad this is. That's how much. Dude, I spent a lot of time looking at shoes and learning history. I've been learning histories about hats now. I got him into a fitted hat. I am on a mission
to get everyone into fitted hats.
Everyone into fitteds. And into Jordans. Everyone. Your mama, your mama's mama, your mama's mama's mama, your baby mama's, your baby's mama's mama.
Yeah, I was about to say your baby mama's mama's mama's.
2002.
Mama's
baby mamas. Nike finds Nike SB, which is, I mean, again, the Nike SB wave right now is mad crazy. And it's kind of the first time where skateboarding is starting to become mainstream. The brand in itself has grown crazy because now, at first these kind of would sit on shelves. You have Nike Tiffany Dunks. Once that starts, all hell breaks loose. Its resale market starts growing crazy. And that's just kind of the start. 2003, Nike buys Converse for a whopping $309 million.
That's good. That's a good price.
Damn. Is damn a curse word? No, because what if I want to say Hoover
decide,
Dam?
Audience.
What's that from? You decide.
The epic rap battles of history.
Yeah. Epic rap battles of history. First,
Epic rap battles of history.
Darth Vader versus Adolf Hitler. Begin.
It's so good.
Dude, this is our childhood. I used to watch the Vader versus Hitler one in the middle of class. I'd be like, "Yeah, Vader, you show him who's not the Nazi. Hit him with the rhymes." In 2004, Nike introduces the Free series, which is the Free technology, which uses highly flexible shoe sole design to allow your feet to move in a more natural way and to strengthen the foot and minus injuries. This was inspired by athletes who trained by running barefoot. Again,
that was the first Nike shoe I noticed. Like, I've noticed that I've actually purchased.
Yeah, and this is one. And again, this is part of the thing where I think it's hard to for me. It was hard to realize like a lot of the technology that Nike's done has been literally from like 80s to now, and Nike's always been kind of at the forefront
I'm gonna be
of
frank,
innovation.
I think the Free is probably my favorite shoe.
Yeah, I think they've the
That's not
Zoom
popular.
technology now is the same thing, but 10 times crazier. Like the new React, so it gets crazy. 2006, Nike and Apple team up to launch Nike Plus technology, allowing all runners to track their distance.
Wait, they purchased Umbrio?
Let's see. Yeah, Nike acquires Umbrio, the English sportswear brand most famous for football kits and equipment, for $580 million. Wow. 2009, they launch another type of shoe. This shoe, although not popular now, back then was one of the most faked and counterfeited shoes. 2012, Nike introduces its Flyknit technology with the Lunar Flyknit trainer. So this would become what a lot of us call the Nike Roshis as well. This model. And it was a super flexible shoe. Literally, you could fold it in half.
I'm trying to think. I've seen it. I just don't remember.
MJ had a pair. Because here's like the baby not the baby version, but like the one step down, or kind of maybe one step sideways. But the Roshi Run is released inspired by simplicity and minimalism of Buddhist Zen gardens. The show provides to be a hit. Proves to be a hit and is subsequently released in a variety of colorways, materials, and all that other stuff around Nike, all around Nikes around the world. So, again, I don't know where the Buddhist Zen thing comes from here, but hey,
it's just other than the fact that it just looks very minimalist, it's the only thing.
Yeah. So this one coming up next is a very special one to me. 2015. I was 15 years old. I wasn't into sneakers until like about 19. So I had no idea any of this stuff was coming out. Nike announces a limited run of the self-lacing Nike Mag shoes from Back to the Future. Yes. Auctioned in collaboration with the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's. This shoe, 1-to-1 replica.
It's very beautiful.
Tiffany Beer, shout out Tiffany Beer. She was an engineer that literally brought this to life. She had to learn. She had to basically mix our modern technology with electronics and make this shoe workable, self-lacing, make the lights beam, make sure that it won't break if it gets wet, it won't, crumble or burn you or blow up. But she had to also make it so that it can withstand pressure. When you're running, when you're walking, you're putting pressure onto the circuit. Mad crazy. That shoe, by the way, goes for like $60,000.
Have you seen the video of the grandpa going into like Foot Lockers and like finish
lines? Oh yeah.
Can I return them?
Can I get rid of these? Oh my gosh. In 2017, we get the first Hyper Adapt shoe, which is basically the lower end version of, again, the self-lacing technology from Nike. And that is where it looks like it stops on this list, because after that, basically all we get is more Adapt technology. We get more Jordan retros, and that's kind of really it right now that Nike has been. Oh, actually, there's one thing that Nike has been doing, which is, sorry, that's our time. Double layer soles for running, but that's really it. That's kind of the history of Nike going through it, technology-wise, through their shoes. From 70, what are your thoughts from looking at them from 72 to 2017?
What do you want me?
Like, what are your thoughts of Nike as a company and of how they've grown through their shoes?
It seems like they've gone for more flexible type shoes. Like the further and further they go in, you see these bulky. They originally go bulky, and they slowly but surely go more into a flexible. Well, for their running shoes in particular.
Yeah.
Especially from Cortezes down to, because now Cortezes are seen more as a
kind of like a walking shoe, a lifestyle shoe
rather than what they were tend to being as a running shoe.
Most definitely. And it's actually funny because they didn't have it on here, but the Adapt technology is now actually in their basketball shoes. So self-lacing basketball shoes.
No, yeah. And my uncle has a pair of they're PBs.
Yeah. But what did you think about seeing the Onitsuka Tigers as the Nikes, comparing those to the Cortez?
I really want those shoes.
They still sell them. Go to A6 website, you can find them.
I can find those shoes.
Yes, you can find those shoes. I can literally look it up right now.
All right, bet. Let me see.
Onitsuka Tiger. Right here. Oh, snap.
Are those dress shoes? They are.
Right there.
Hey.
You literally buy them. Bada bing.
Go scroll back. I want the silver ones. You see it? Yeah.
Brandon likes the dumbest stuff.
Hey.
Actually, the Cortez was actually supposed to be called the Aztec. Fun fact, it was supposed to be called the Aztec. They did make it. They called it the Aztec, but I believe Adidas at the time had a shoe called the Aztec already. So copyright infringement. So they called it Cortez for Cortez, the Spanish conquistador. That's kind of it. The Nike history again isn't as cool because there was no brother fighting involved, but I think
so it's lame. We instantly hate this now.
But it's fun though to look and to realize that, dude, that company went from two guys working as being a coach and a student to paying a girl $35 to just make a check mark, to just kind of sitting down brainstorming, be like, oh, victory, Nike, whatever, to all of a sudden they're $1 billion, like probably, what are they, like, I mean, are they close to $500 million? I don't know. They're whatever. They're $1 billion company. Probably
to Google.
I'm not gonna Google that. But that's a pretty crazy thing to me. And I mean, trust me, if we can get into Air Jordans next time, there's an even bigger understanding of where Nike became Nike, in the sense of they got to that household recognition because of Michael Jordan. So if you guys want to hear that, we'll do that for the next episode. Just, I guess, linear reasons.
All right.
But because again, yeah, that's awesome. But no matter what, this is the Dos Leches podcast, the perfect mixture between cream. You and MJ do the same crap all the time.
No, I did it on purpose because I saw you like put your hand over here, so I just stood there.
Fine, you do it then.
Cream and sugar.
Oh wait, how do you say bye?
Adios. Or what do you want? Bye.
What's our slogan? What is that? Okay, thanks for. How would you outro in Spanish? You outro in Spanish.
How outro in Spanish?
Yeah.
Or what do you like the outro that we do?
Do the whole thing in Spanish.
I don't know the whole thing in Spanish.
Do the whole thing in Spanish.
I think I speak Spanish,
because you're so brown.
I think you're browner than me.
I'm swole. I'm tan. That's my ethnicity. I'm tan.
That's right. This is the tan. Get
if you watch
right.
Jersey Shore, that's what Snooki says. She's like, I'm not white, I'm tan.
That's so.
But anyways, thanks for watching the Dos Leches podcast. I'm your host, Steven, here with Lennon. Again, if you guys please can like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel on you can do it on YouTube, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts. Sadly, not on Spotify. Again, Spotify, fix your stuff. But please join us next week. We're here every Tuesday at 7 a.m. Thank you guys very much.
Bye-bye.